The sun is setting over the wide sky. A warm light is shining through the trees in the forest. The birds flying in the sky have had a busy day. Now, night is falling, and it's time for the birds to stop flying, return to their nests, and rest. Let's visit the birds and help them get ready for bed. Good evening, Mr. Golden Eagle. Mr. Golden Eagle is a large type of eagle that lives in northern regions. You catch small animals with your sharp claws and beak. But now, it's time to settle down and rest your big legs. May tomorrow bring you even higher flights and new horizons to explore. Can you help put Mr. Golden Eagle to bed and say goodnight? Good night, Mr. Golden Eagle. Good evening, Ms. Skylark. Ms. Skylark rises high in the sky, singing her sweet song for all to hear. But now, it's time to rest her wings and drift off to dreamland. May the morning bring fresh melodies and skies to soar. Say goodnight to Ms. Skylark and wish her peaceful dreams. Good night, Ms. Skylark. Good evening, Mr. Canary. Mr. Canary, your singing is wonderful, and you're loved by all. Your beautiful voice is the result of daily practice. But now, it's time to stop your singing and rest. May the morning bring you new melodies to share with the world. Snuggle up with Mr. Canary and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Canary. Good evening, Ms. Crow. Ms. Crow is wise and watchful, guiding her flock through the forest. But now, as night falls, it's time to rest her wings and sleep. May tomorrow bring new mysteries and friendships to explore. Help Ms. Crow get cozy and say goodnight. Good night, Ms. Crow. Good evening, Mr. Hillmina. Mr. Hillmina, you're so good at talking. But now, it's time to stop chatting, get ready for bed, and dream sweetly. May your words be even kinder and brighter when the new day comes. Snuggle up with Mr. Hillmina and say goodnight. Good night, Mr. Hillmina. Good evening, Mr. Cuckoo. You spent the day walking through the forest, calling out in your cute voice. But now, it's time to rest your proud voice and go to sleep. May the new day bring you many more lovely places to explore. Say goodnight to Mr. Cuckoo and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Cuckoo. Good evening, Ms. Shrike. Ms. Shrike, you're a skilled hunter who uses your beak cleverly. You display your prey by sticking it on branches. But now, it's time to stop hunting and rest. May the morning bring you new challenges and new heights to conquer. Help Ms. Shrike get comfortable and say goodnight. Good night, Ms. Shrike. Good evening, Mr. Woodpecker. Mr. Woodpecker, you make holes in trees with your sharp beak. The sound of you pecking echoes throughout the forest. But now, it's time to return to your nest, rest your body, and sleep. May tomorrow's forest be filled with new trees to explore and enjoy. Say goodnight to Mr. Woodpecker and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Woodpecker. Good evening, Mr. Pigeon. Mr. Pigeon, you're entrusted with carrying letters and you do it so well. You're very quick, which makes you very useful. But now, it's time to rest your wings after a long journey. May tomorrow bring you more messages to deliver and places to see. Say goodnight to Mr. Pigeon and wish him a peaceful rest. Good night, Mr. Pigeon. Good evening, Ms. Swallow. Ms. Swallow flits through the sky, gracefully building her nest for her little ones. But now, As the night grows dark, it's time to rest her wings. May the morning bring blue skies and gentle winds for her flight. Help Ms. Swallow settle down and say goodnight. Good night, Ms. Swallow. Good evening, Ms. Egret. Ms. Egret wades through the water with grace, her reflection shining beneath her. But now, it's time to rest her legs and close her eyes for the night. May tomorrow bring clear waters and bright skies. Say goodnight to Ms. Egret and wish her peaceful dreams. Good night, Ms. Egret. Good evening, Mr. and Ms. Mandarin Duck. Mr. and Ms. Mandarin Duck, with your beautiful face and feathers, you're always the center of attention as you swim. You always swim together as a loving couple. But now, it's time to clean your lovely feathers and dream happy dreams. May the next day bring calm waters and joyful moments for you and your partner. Help Mr. and Ms. Mandarin Duck settle down and say goodnight. Good night, Mr. and Ms. Mandarin Duck. Good evening, Mr. Duck. Mr. Duck, you may not fly, but you're a skilled swimmer. You swim so well, leading your little ducklings. But now, it's time to stop swimming and rest your hard-working body. May your little ones continue to follow in your graceful footsteps. Say goodnight to Mr. Duck and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Duck. Good evening, Mr. Black Swan. Mr. Black Swan, you swim gracefully in a flock, just like the white swans. You migrate from the harsh northern lands to the peaceful lakes. But now, it's time to find a quiet place and rest with the whole flock. May the lake's waters be as gentle and kind as your every move. Help Mr. Black Swan settle down and say goodnight. Good night, Mr. Black Swan. Good evening, Mr. Pheasant. Mr. Pheasant, you have a red face and a beautiful body. You fly from forest to forest, wherever you like. But now, it's time to take a deep breath and rest your lovely body. May the dawn bring new colors and the thrill of freedom. Help Mr. Pheasant get comfortable and wish him a peaceful night. Good night, Mr. Pheasant. Good evening, Ms. Turkey. Ms. Turkey, you're great at spreading your big wings and running. But now, it's time to feed your young and rest warmly with your family. May tomorrow bring a new day filled with warmth and happiness. Snuggle up with Ms. Turkey and wish her a peaceful night. Good night, Ms. Turkey. Good evening, Mr. Owl. Mr. Owl, you nest in the trees and stay quietly in your nest during the day. You skillfully use your large body to gather branches and reeds for the nest. But now it's time to rest with your family in the nest, where no one will disturb you. May the night bring a blanket of peace and comfort to you and your loved ones. Say goodnight to Mr. Owl and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Owl. Good evening, Mr. Hawk. Mr. Hawk, you fly high in the sky searching for food while calling out. You skillfully eat with your fine beak and claws. But now, it's time to rest your body in a quiet part of the forest and sleep. May tomorrow's heights be even more majestic, with the world at your feet. Say goodnight to Mr. Hawk and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Hawk. Good evening, Ms. Falcon. Ms. Falcon, you fly incredibly fast through the sky. You can dive and turn sharply to catch your prey. But now, as it gets dark, it's time to sleep high up in the tree. May your flights tomorrow be as swift and sharp as ever. Say goodnight to Ms. Falcon and wish her a peaceful night. Good night, Ms. Falcon. Good evening, Mr. Condor. Mr. Condor, your You're the forest's cleaner, eating whatever you find. You soar high, patrolling the forest, and come down quickly when you spot something. But now, it's time to stop scavenging and go to sleep. May the sky be even clearer for your keen eyes when dawn arrives. Say goodnight to Mr. Condor and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Mr. Condor. Good night, birds flying in the sky. All the birds in the sky are huddled together, peacefully sleeping under the starry night. The wind and clouds drifting across the sky sing a gentle lullaby. Now close your eyes and dream wonderful dreams with your friends. Sweet dreams to all the little children. Good night, birds flying in the sky.